Hello, we're going to talk today just a little bit about Course 2, Lesson 48. Now, this isn't new stuff. This is a review. Fractions to decimals to percents. This is things we've talked about all along, and we just keep practicing and practicing. First one I'm going to throw up here is we have 1/4. Now, got a lot of lines already drawn in there, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. I have 1/4. Now, we all know that if I take 1 and I divide it by 4, okay, I put my decimal there, add some zeros. 4 doesn't go into 1, so I put a 0 there. 4 goes into 10 twice, so that's 8. And 4 goes into 25 times, which is 20. And so our decimal for 1/4 is 0.25. Then if we take that from the decimal form and we turn it into a percent, we know that all we have to do is either multiply it by 100, which is what some of us do, or you can simply move the decimal 2 places to the right and you get 25%. And folks, that's your basic line. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Taking things from fractions to decimals to percents, or percents to decimals, or decimals to fractions. It's all pretty much the same thing. So of course here's 1/4 and the work that goes with that, and I showed you that already. The next one I'd like to talk about is 1/2, and of course we all know, without even dividing, most of us do anyway, that 1/2 is going to be 0.5, and if we move the decimal place 2 places to the right, it becomes 50%. 3 and no decimal ends up to be 3, but then guess what? We make the move of the decimal 2 places to the right, and that suddenly becomes 300%. It's the same thing with 1/2. Okay, that's 1.5. We move the decimal 2 places to the right, and that becomes 150%. Folks, you have to remember that any fraction that's less than 1 is going to be a percent that's less than 100. If you have a fraction that's larger than 1, for instance 1/2, then the percent is going to be larger than 100%. The other one that we have to think about a little bit is repeating decimals. So 1/3, if you divide 1 by 3, you're going to get 0.3333 repeating, which is 33 and 1/3%. You take your decimal place 2 places to the right. Now there would be another 3 here if we wanted to put it there, okay? And this can be written as 33 and 1/3, because 1/3 is 0.33333, or you can write it this way, 33.3 with the repetent. If you don't have the repetent, it's going to be wrong, percent. So that's the first page of this basic review. Okay. Let's look at 2/5. What if you are given the fraction 2/5? Well, if you don't know it's 0.4, some of us do, some of us don't, then go ahead and do the math. Take 2 divided by 5. 5 doesn't go into 2, you put a 0 up here. 5 does go into 20 4 times, and so you have 0.4. You're going to move the decimal place 2 places to the right, and you end up with 40%. So 2/5, 0.4, 40%. 1/8 is another one that you might not have memorized, okay? So 1/8, 1 divided by 8, 8 doesn't go into 1, bring up your, always remember to bring up that decimal point. That's going to cause you more trouble than anything if you forget that. So you don't have 8 does not go into 1, so 8 does go into 10. 1 time, subtract, you get 2, bring down a 0. 8 goes into 20 2 times, 16, subtract, you get 4, 0. 8 goes into 45 times, and when you put the 40 here, then you're done. So your decimal for 1/8 is 0.125. However, the percent, you move this 2 places It does not go past that 5, so therefore the percent is either going to be 12.5 or 12.5%. If you use a whole number, always figure that you're going to have a huge percent. Okay? So, we can do the math if you want to. We have 8 over 1, which is 8 divided by 1, which is 8. Duh. Okay, so as a decimal, it would technically be 8.00. There's where the decimal is. You move it over twice like we do with everything else. And as a percent, it is 800. As I said, anytime the number is over 1, the percent is going to be over 100. Okay, here's just a few just to kind of like help you to refresh your memory a little bit. If you have 1/10, I think most of us know it's 0.10, and it would be 10%. 6/10, 0.6, 60%. 75 over 100, well, you can do that a lot of different ways. You could take it down to 3/4, but for our purposes, we really don't want to do that. We want to leave it as 75 over 100, 0.75, and then 75%. If you ever get a fraction like 3/4 this way, and you want to turn it into a decimal easily, look to see if that denominator can be made to be 100. This one can. 4 times 25 makes 100, and 3 times the same number. So you end up with 75 over 100, which makes it very easy to create that decimal, and of course even easier to come up with the percent. Okay, here's a couple more. 1 6/10 is 1.6. Now remember, if it's larger than 1, then the percent is going to be greater than 100. So we move the decimal point over 2 places, add that 0, we end up with 160%. Now we have 1 3/5. Okay, so let's take this 5 and let's try to make it into 100. So 5 times 20, right? Times 20. So we actually have 160 over 100. Ha, guess what? That's the same thing. It is the same thing. We wouldn't have seen that if we had gone ahead and made the denominator equal to 100. Okay, folks, that's really all I have to say today. This is a pretty simple subject. If you have any questions, be sure you ask in class. Otherwise, have a great day.